Hello everyone, my name is Jack Meggitt Phillips. I am a beast keeper, I'm a parrot killer, and I can eat an entire chocolate bunny within the space of around 30 seconds. But I'm sure you don't want to see that just now. No, the reason why I'm here is because I'm also the author of 3 very beastly books. The Beast in the Bethany, Revenge of the Beast, and Battle of the Beast. This story basically tells the tale of a young 500-year-old,
Hello,
a hungry beast, and someone who's going to be eaten. Somehow, last year, Isabel Falath and I won the Awesome Book Awards for The Beast and the Bethany, and it is my huge honour and privilege to present this year's award. And what a shortlist we have got for you. We have got stories featuring gaming-obsessed aliens and maths-loving grannies, time-travelling celebrities, tiny magical creatures, and talking cats. Our authors are 5 of the most awesome people working today, and I think it's high time we met them. So, here we go.
First up is The Astonishing Future of Alex Nobody by Kate Gilby Smith.
Hello, my name is Kate Gilby Smith and I'm the author of this book, The Astonishing Future of Alex Nobody, and I'm so excited that it's been shortlisted for the Awesome Book Awards, and I'm so pleased to tell you a little bit more about the book and to read you a very short section from it. So what is the book about? Well, it's about a character called Alex Nobody. And for her entire life, people dressed like tourists have turned up all over the place. They're there at the school gates sometimes, they are there in the supermarket, leapfrogging across tins of soup just to shake her hand, and they all seem to know who she is. They seem really excited to meet her, but Alex is sure she's never met them before. And they always turn up in white double-decker coaches, and they are always dressed like tourists. They're even there on the day she was born, in fact, trying to catch a glimpse of her as a baby. This is very mysterious to Alex, until a boy called Jasper turns up on the day of her 12th birthday party, and Jasper seems to have some clue as to why these people dressed like tourists in their white double-decker coaches have always turned up, but then Jasper goes missing. Alex has to set out to find Jasper, work out where he's gone, to rescue him if he needs it, but she also wants to find out what that secret is, why all these tourists seem to know who she is. And she does that by sneaking into the back of a white double-decker coach and following the tourists to see where they go. Now, the section of the book I'm about to read you is after she's done exactly that. She's had a very bumpy ride in the back of one of the white double-decker coaches, and she's just working out where she is. She's bumped into somebody, and she's about to have a bit of a conversation with them to work out where she has come to. What coach station is this? Where are we? Alex stopped dead. A group of people wearing sun hats and beach sarongs were hurrying across the marble floor. Tourists, just like the sort of people who had turned up throughout her life without explanation. They chatted excitedly and pulled bulging suitcases in the direction of the coaches. More tourists, Alex whispered. So this is where they came from, wherever this was. That didn't explain, though, what they were doing travelling to Murford, or why Jasper thought he needed to protect Alex from them. Watching them bundle towards the coaches, Alex thought that the tourists couldn't have looked more harmless. There was nothing particularly threatening about people wearing open-toed sandals and khaki shorts. But then again, Jasper certainly seemed to think that they were dangerous. Maybe she should watch them from a distance. On the other hand, they might know something about where Jasper was. Who are all these people? Where are they going? She asked. Where? Scoffed the woman, scratching the fine hairs on her chin. Don't you mean when? When are they going? When are they going? Alex repeated. Time travel. The words resounded in her head. Don't get carried away, she told herself. After all, it was one thing to suspect time travel was possible, and quite another thing to have those suspicions confirmed. But when are they going doesn't make grammatical sense. If you say so, replied the woman coolly. Shouldn't you be getting back to your family? They'll be worried, I'm sure, and I have things to be getting on with, other than getting a grammar lesson from a child, that is. She looked anxiously around. Besides, I have a time guard on my tail today, so I shouldn't stay in one place for too long. I'd finally managed to lose them when I bumped into you, but it won't be long before they catch up. Alex suddenly felt very odd. The sun shone brightly through the glass ceiling above, drawing beads of sweat from her temples. She had a strong desire to be back among people she knew, even those classmates who ignored her or called her names. The thought of their company seemed almost comforting right now. Plus, if she didn't get back soon, Mrs. Wright was going to be furious with her. "Do you know where I can find the ticket office?" she asked the woman. "I need to get on a coach straight back home. It can't be too far, not more than a few towns away." Even if she said it, Alex wasn't convinced. She knew there was no coach station like this anywhere near Murford. The woman's eyebrow hair bristled. "You won't find any coaches to take you home here, I'm afraid. This isn't that kind of station." "Not that kind of station," Alex squeaked. "No," said the woman. "These coaches only travel to the past." Dun, dun, dun. So I won't tell you anything more about the book because there are loads of secrets, and there's one very big secret in the book. But I really hope if you have read it or you do read it that you really enjoy it, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for listening.
Let me introduce our next author, Jamie Russell, author of Skywake Invasion.
Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Russell and I am the author of this book, Skywake Invasion, and its sequel, Skywake Battlefield, and the third book in the series, Skywake Endgame, is coming out in August. I am absolutely thrilled to be here today with you at the Awesome Book Awards. It is a real honour for me to have Skywake Invasion nominated in this award, so thank you so much. I thought what I'd do is read you a little bit from Skywake. It's the first chapter. As you may know, Skywake is a story about aliens, video games, and what it means to be a leader. And I really wanted to be able to find a way of taking all the things I love about video games, heart-stopping action and feeling completely immersed in the adventure. I was thinking about games like Halo and Fortnite, all those kind of really fast-paced games. I wanted to take everything I loved about those and put them into a science fiction novel, and Skywake Invasion was the result. So I'm going to read you the first chapter, and you can see how action-packed it is. Right after she fired it, the alien plasma rifle glowed in Casey's hands. It was big, it was heavy, but most of all, though, it was hot. It crackled with a tingling electrical heat that made the hairs on the backs of her hands stand to attention like soldiers on parade. She looked at the hole she'd just blasted in the side of Starbucks, a perfect circle like when she used a compass and pencil in Mr. Donovan's maths class. She could see right through it into the pizza restaurant next door. The remaining bricks, sliced in half by the plasma rifle's searing blast, burned red like charcoal in a barbecue. Wisps of black smoke curled above what was left of the barista station. A hulking alien soldier stood beside the hole. It wore heavy black armor and a curved metal helmet that obscured its face. Two blood-red mechanical eyes were set in the helmet. They stared at her angrily. If she'd been a little bit more accurate, the hole would have been smack bang in the middle of the alien's armoured chest. But you weren't accurate, Casey thought to herself. You totally choked. It was true. The minute she'd picked up the plasma rifle, her body had flooded with fear and adrenaline. She'd pulled the trigger too early, and the heavy weapon had jerked out of her hands. Her shot, the shot that was going to save her life, had gone wide and destroyed the wall instead. And that was why she was now standing in a ruined Starbucks being eyeballed by an alien soldier. This thing had travelled thousands of light years for some distant corner of interstellar space to invade Earth, and it had almost been taken out by a 15-year-old girl. She guessed it wasn't very happy. Casey muttered, letting the hand holding the rifle drop to her side. She desperately wanted to say some last words before she was vaporized, but her mind had gone blank. The only thing she could think of was a four-letter word, and she didn't want that on her gravestone. The alien filled the silence himself. She decided it was a him, even though she couldn't actually see who or what was inside the bulky combat suit. Ruth, he, Kalfu, Mort, he said in a mechanical voice. The tone sounded insulting, like he was saying, you should have aimed better, you stupid girl. Yeah, Casey grimaced. I guess you're right. The alien raised his plasma rifle. It hummed in his large hands. Casey stared down the barrel. It was as black as death. She knew that he wouldn't choke. She closed her eyes and swore under her breath. If the alien dude can't speak English, she decided, then it probably doesn't count. That's the first chapter of Skywake Invasion. And like I said just before, I'm absolutely thrilled to be on the shortlist at the Awesome Book Awards, particularly since you have so many, and it's the only word I can use to describe them, awesome authors and books on the shortlist this year. And I know that whoever you vote for as the winner will be an absolutely amazing choice. So from me, thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely time at the awards. And don't forget, watch out for aliens. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Next up is Maisie Chan, author of Danny Chung Does Not Do Maths.
Hi everyone, I'm Maisie Chan and I'm the author of Danny Chung Does Not Do Maths, which is published by Piccadilly Press. I'm going to read to you a little bit of the book, but first I just wanted to say how I was inspired to write this book in the first place. So the Nine-Eye character, which is Danny's grandma, she comes to stay with Danny in his room. She takes top bunk and Danny is not very happy about this. He loves to draw and now he doesn't have any privacy. The grandma character was inspired by my friend's grandma who arrived in Birmingham when she was aged 92. And I thought she would make a brilliant character. So she couldn't communicate with my friend because she spoke a dialect, a Chinese dialect that my friend didn't speak, she only spoke Cantonese. And I thought that was really interesting that a grandmother couldn't speak the same language as her grandchild. And so I used kind of that as a basis for Danny Chung Does Not Do Maths. I'm going to read the opening so you can hear Danny's voice and see what Danny really loves more than maths. Okay. Drawing makes me feel good. I draw literally everywhere, in bed with a torch and even on the toilet. And yes, I always wash my hands afterwards. Sometimes I sketch in the park at weekends with Ravi, my best mate. My favourite bit is coming up with new characters. Ones are half one thing and half another. The best of both worlds, like wholemeal bread and white bread put together. I was really pleased with my newest creation that I called a Draken. It was a mutant duck with a dragon's head. It's very Chinese if you ask me. Dragons are the most beloved and lucky creatures in Chinese mythology and ducks are yummy and succulent. The tricky part's the head. Chinese dragons don't look like other dragons and they have no wings. Ravi is basically an expert on all things medieval and knights. He says Chinese dragons are anomalies, which is a nice way of saying they're weird, and they don't go around trying to eat princesses or battle knights, and I think that's nice. A Draken is a Chinese win-win. From under my duvet, I heard the door to my room squeak open. "Danny, where are you?" It was Bar. I could tell from the sesame oil smell from the kitchen. Oh, not now, I prayed. I was still drawing. I nearly finished a camel-like head of the dragon. The duck's body would of course be in scale with the head. You wouldn't want a tiny duck's body and a massive dragon head. That thing would lollop around and flop over. I slid my duvet up over my head some more, hoping that Bar wouldn't see me. Saturdays were usually very busy in the takeaway, so my parents wanted me to help out by folding menus or piling pop cans on the shelf behind the counter. But I'd rather just draw in my pyjamas instead. "We can see you, Danny Chung," Ma's voice said. "Come on, you need to leave your bedroom now. Bar and I have to clean under your bed. It's like a rubbish tip under there. There has to be more space in here." "What?" I peeked out from under the duvet. Ma had on her red apron that she wore when she did the counter each evening and bright yellow rubber gloves. Under her armpit was a feather duster and she was scanning my bedroom like she was on a mission. Bar knelt down with the pearl green dustpan and brush. He threw some black bags onto the carpet. Something wasn't right. His head was all sweaty and it was all huffy. They never came in here to clean my room. "Yes, we don't have much time," Bar said. "We've been so busy and now we only have a few hours left." He frantically started dragging out random things that I'd shoved under my bed frame. What was going on? A few hours left until what? Bar flung an old teddy bear out from under my bed and it only had one eye. Next, he stretched and pulled out a stack of old sketchbooks that were filled to the brim with my creations. clean, but it's Saturday. Can't I just relax like the kids at school? On weekends they play computer games and go for ice cream. Saturdays are for doing, I don't know, nothing. Uh-oh. I regretted it as soon as I uttered the words nothing. I was going to get my dad's Chinese way lecture. So that's Danny Chung Does Not Do Maths.
Let's hear from our next author, Anna Goodall, author of Maggie Blue and the Dark World.
My name's Anna Goodall, and I am the author of Maggie Blue and the Dark World. I just want to say thank you so much for nominating me for this amazing, or should I say awesome, award. Maggie Blue and the Dark World is my first book. The extract I want to read is really what I truly love about Maggie, is that despite all the hardship of her life, despite the fact things aren't easy, she has this core of inner belief that is a bit of wish fulfillment, I guess. As a writer, I've given her a quality that I wish I had more of now, but certainly I wish I had when I was a kid. And I hope it maybe inspires you to have confidence in yourself and not let other people kind of tell you who you are, which is easier said than done, I'd like to say. She walked slowly along the streets, peering in at people's houses until she came to the high street and looked vacantly into shop windows, seeing herself half reflected there. She could see her face, but it was blurred. That was how she felt sometimes, like she didn't really exist, or at least not in a definite, clear way. She wandered on and suddenly caught sight of herself in a real mirror. It was an old gilt thing propped up in the window of yet another charity shop, the Cats Defence League, though she was no longer convinced cats needed much defending. She stopped and examined herself. She looked how she'd always looked since she was about 5. No better, no worse. Her eyes were too big and her hair was too thin and straight. She'd always been herself, Maggie Blue Brown. And to be honest, although she wasn't very pretty or striking or anything, she'd always liked herself. It was other people who didn't seem to get her. They were always telling her who she was, and it occurred to her for the first time that maybe they had no idea at all. Her mum said she needed to be normal. Other kids always said she was weird. The teachers told her she was lazy, and some of them thought she was stupid. No one believed her when she told the truth, but maybe none of them had a clue. The pale face in the glass smiled faintly. The thought appealed to her. The sky had been darkening for some time, and suddenly, with a dramatic roll of thunder, the heavens opened. Light from speeding cars flickered over her and the rain quickly soaked through her clothes. But Maggie didn't move. She thought about Ida. Where was she? Was she afraid? Was she hoping someone would rescue her? The police, teachers, parents, they'd look in all the wrong places and they'd never listen to Maggie, even if she told them what she'd seen. Maybe she was weird. After all, she could hear cats talk and see strange lights in other worlds. But she couldn't change that. The old lady behind the counter inside was starting to give her a few funny looks, but despite that and the rain, Maggie still didn't move. Her eyes looked huge and dark in the glass, and in them she saw the flicker of something new, something she barely recognized. Maggie understood then. It was up to her. She was the only one who could rescue Ida, and she would do it alone. She smiled. Then Ida would have to be her friend, whether she liked it or not. Thank you again for nominating me for this amazing award, and I hope I get to meet you sometime very soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Here's our final author, Kate Wilkinson, author of Edie and the Box of Flits.
Hello there, I'm Kate Wilkinson, and I'm so honoured to be on the shortlist of the Awesome Book Awards. Thank you all so much, and with all those other brilliant writers as well. And I thought for my short reading, I would bring you here to a station that is right at the end of the Piccadilly line, and it's not very far from where I live, so I come here quite often. So you can see the tracks, and then the train carriages, the tunnels of derelict platforms, and the ghost stations, all of which have been a big inspiration for my story. And for my reading, I thought I'd start right at the beginning of the book, and for those of you who've read it, you'll maybe know that the story starts with a station announcement.
This train is about to depart. Please stand clear of the closing doors. Please stand clear of the closing doors.
It was rush hour. The train rattled and hummed as it made its way through a tunnel deep in the ground under London. The air smelt of old chips and damp raincoats, and passengers sat facing each other on their way home from work, school, or a trip to the shops. Edie Winter stared at a boy sitting directly across the carriage from her. A school tie was stuffed into his jacket pocket, and his legs were crisscrossed in front of him like oversized scissors. His thumb was skating back and forth across the screen of his phone as the stations of the London Underground slipped past the windows behind him. Edie could tell he'd been in secondary school for a couple of years, just by the easy way he'd stuffed his tie in his pocket. She looked down at her own school uniform. The jacket was still so big that only the tips of her fingers peeped out of the sleeves. I might as well have New Year 7 stamped on my forehead, Edie thought. At least it was half term. The brakes screeched as the train arrived at Marylebone Station. The carriage doors opened, and the boy snatched up his rucksack and bounced off. Edie could see that he did this all the time. The London Underground didn't faze him. He knew his way around the maze of stations and tracks that snaked right across the city. Well, so did she. Dad had taught her the names of every line and every station on the whole network. I wonder if that boy can spell Piccadilly. I can. 2 C's, 1 D and 2 L's, she chanted to herself as the doors snapped shut behind her. Then the boy's face appeared at the window of the train. He pressed himself up against it, trying to look down at the row of seats he'd just left. And that was when Edie noticed the box.
What a fantastic shortlist. I cannot wait to see who is going to pick up the trophy. I have loved being the Awesome Book Awards reigning champion this year. This year, The Beast and I have been preparing work on the film for The Beast and the Bethany, and we have been eating children all over the world. Meeting children all over the world. To celebrate, I thought I might read a tiny extract from the newest book in the series, Battle of the Beast. In this one, the Beast is behaving like it's never done before. This chapter is called The No Beast and the Bethany. "Let me go!" she cried, as the Beast's 2 fat tongues slithered around her neck like a pair of greedy cobras. Bethany was trapped in a laser cage. Her best friend, the young 500-year-old Ebenezer Tweezer, was lying dead on the floor.
"Oh, I don't think so, Bethany," said the Beast. "This particular feast has been a long time coming, and I have every intention of enjoying my supper."
As the Beast dragged Bethany close to death, she realised that she never had a chance of winning this battle between them. And then, just as she was about to be chomped to pieces, Bethany woke up, tossing and turning in her bedroom of the 15-storey house.
Stupid, stupid brain," she grumbled. "Why do you always have to give me nightmares?"
Bethany went downstairs and found Ebenezer worriedly looking out the window. Usually, Bethany liked to begin her day by pranking him or making fun of his stupid pink suit, but there was something about seeing him dead in her arms that put her in a more generous mood.
Morning, Gitface. I just want you to know, I'm really glad you haven't been horribly murdered.
This was one of the nicest things that Bethany had ever said to Ebenezer, and he had no idea what he had done to deserve it. Thank you, Bethany. Well, I'm delighted that you haven't been horribly murdered either. Bethany flashed a terrifying grin before stomping through to the kitchen. She picked up a hammer and started bashing a poor, defenceless muffin to death, whilst Ebenezer returned his attention to the window. Is anyone there yet? Outside, on the lawn, Ebenezer had put up a rather heroic-looking portrait of himself. Next to this, there was a sign that read, "Do-Gooding, Open House. Got a problem? Ring the bell, and Mr. Tweezer will solve it. Please form an orderly queue." Unfortunately, there was no queue to be formed, orderly or otherwise. There wasn't even so much as a pigeon upon the lawn. It's like the neighbourhood doesn't want any of my gorgeous help.
Maybe you should just accept that people aren't going to come visiting.
Poppycock, this problem-solving business is a triumph. After 5 centuries of living, it's no wonder that I am so very wisdomous. For once, Bethany bit her tongue.
You're right, we're both doing a lot of good.
Bethany scattered her muffin corpse between 2 slices of bread and picked up a bottle of squirty mayonnaise.
And we're able to do it because no one's getting in our way.
Yes, we certainly are. A lot better without the beast. Bethany shuddered at the mention of the beast. She squeezed the squirty bottle like a stress ball and accidentally caused a mayonnaise explosion. Bethany scrunched her eyes shut and tried to push all thoughts of the beast out of her mind. Fortunately, a distraction presented itself when the phone started bringing. Maybe it's someone who wants my help, said Ebenezer excitedly. You answer it. Make it sound as though I am extremely busy and important. Do not make me sound desperate. Bethany scowled as she picked up the phone.
Oi, what do you flippin' want then?
Bethany, said Ebenezer, remember our fancy phone voice training. Bethany rolled her eyes and put on a slightly less aggressive voice.
Sozza, I mean, hello. This is the house of Bethany and Tweezer. What do you flippin' want?
There was a crackle on the other end of the line. A few seconds later, Bethany heard a voice she thought she'd never hear again.
Bethany, is that you? I'm calling you from my cage because I have a very, very important message. I just wanted you to know that I am sorry.
That is the opening chapter of Battle of the Beast, and a bit of exciting, exclusive news for the Awesome Book Awards. The 4th book, Child of the Beast, will be out in September this year. Anyway, let's get back to the awards and see who's won this year's trophy. Congratulations to all of our shortlisted authors. Thank you to everyone who's helped organise the Awesome Book Awards, and thank you to you for taking part in this year's ceremony. But now, the big moment is upon us. Wherever you're watching this video from, whether it's in a school, whether it's in a library, whether it's your living room, or whether you're on a pirate ship with really good Wi-Fi, I want you to do your best. Drum roll, please. Okay, the winner of the Awesome Book Awards 2023 is Kate Gilby Smith for The Astonishing Future of Alex Nobody. And now it's time to reveal the winners of the Reader's Review Award. And now it's time to reveal the winners of the Reader's Review Award. Patrick, what on earth are you doing? You're supposed to be dead. The beast ate you in the first book. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. I made it so. No, you didn't. This is not pantomime. I'm so sorry about this. The winner of the Reader... Right. You can do this one, but then we're going to have a serious chat in our dressing room, okay? The winner of the Reader's Review Awards is... And the second winner of the Reader's Review Awards is... Thank you everyone for joining this year's Awesome Book Awards 2023 ceremony. We look forward to seeing you next year.